Amari, there's probably worse guys that have around for a week of OTAs than Calvin Johnson. What's that been like, the dialogue between you two?
And I just been asking him a whole bunch of questions. You know, how does he run certain routes? What was his regiment like? And how he was so productive. And he's a really cool guy. He's been giving me some really great feedback. So he's nice to have around.
Yeah, probably some of it you want to keep to yourself, but anything that he said that resonated with you so far?
He just gave me some really good tips on like how I can run some of my routes. I won't, you know, but yeah.
When did you know he was coming in?
Yeah.
Did you know before or when you got here yesterday?
I knew the same yesterday. I know.
What was your reaction when you saw him here?
First reaction was he's huge. You know? So he's a big receiver. I can understand why they called him Megatron, and he definitely lives up to that.
Any part of his game that you patterned yours after coming up when you looked up at him, or was it just kind of a different thing?
Man, I think he's a different receiver than I am, obviously, but I really admire the way he high points the ball, you know, and that's something that I try to do as well.
Are there any noticeable differences now that you have Todd kind of running the show as the offensive coordinator over Bill? Anything that you see different? How they go about it?
I mean, of course they have a different personality, but for the most part, everything is, you know, a lot of things are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
He talked about wanting to tweak the offense, not necessarily overhaul it. Some of the tweaks that you've seen where you're like, okay, he's put his...
Yeah, he's made some small tweaks. Definitely bringing his style, a little bit of his style to it, but overall, it's kind of the same.
How would you describe his style? What is Todd Downing's style, you think?
I don't want to really...
Fair enough.
What's it like to finally be out there catching passes from Gareon? Obviously not happening at the end of last year was tough, but what's it like just to be able to see him back out there and 100%?
It's really cool. He's healthy now. He looks great. He looks normal.
Donald was talking about how bitter taste from the way last year ended, and said that probably won't go away until the season opener. Do you still have that? Is that still bitter taste, or have you gotten over that? How do you approach that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was the last game we played in. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the last game we played, we lost. So, of course, it still has a bitter taste to it. So.
Who's a better interview, you or Marshawn? You guys talked about interview skills yet?
Got jokes.
Yeah, what does Marshawn bring to this team, though?
Physicality.
Yeah.
He's a physical back, man. It's nice to, you know, have his presence there. Just the energy he'll bring to the team, the attitude he'll bring on Sundays.
You feel it already?
Yeah, I do.
His smile out there is hard to ignore. Is that fun to just see a guy that is having so much fun out here doing what he's doing?
I mean, he's a good spirit, you know. He's cool to have around, a really cool person.
You guys had Charles Woodson a couple of years ago and now Marshawn, and those two guys may have as much credibility as any players in this league. What does that add to a team when you have a guy like that on the team?
You know, guys like that, you just watch them. You see how they go about their day. Especially like with Charles, I used to watch him a lot. He was a really hard worker. He was always in the weight room, always getting treatment. So Marshawn, he's the same way. I just watch him because there's a reason why those two guys are so successful in this game. So
you've had two of the most successful back-to-back years, any 2 years any receivers had coming into the league. Each of the last 2 years, there was a little bit of a tail off in terms of numbers. Is there anything that you have done this offseason to approach that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's been on my mind, but it's a good thing to me because I feel like I can go nowhere but up. I know that I can have, you know, a lot more production than I've had in the past 2 seasons. So we'll just see.
You're obviously a rookie year toward the end of the year. You were not totally healthy. Was it the same kind of thing last year?
I mean, there's no excuse there because every player in the last 8 games has some sort of injury. You know, you just play through it and you try to do the best for your team.
What aspects of your game each offseason you probably focus on specific themes a little bit more than others? This offseason, what's it been for you?
Just the little details. It's easy to forget the small things like high pointing the ball, or things like looking the ball all the way through and not trying to run before you actually catch the ball. And just overall just working hard in the offseason so that you can come back and you can be dominant.
you've been so productive your first 2 years. You look at around the league, different years, eras. That third year for wide receivers can be kind of a launching point where they can ascend even further. Do you view this year as potential, where you can just maybe take even a greater leap than you've reached so far?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the present now, so I want to be the best Amari Cooper that I could possibly be. I want to be better than every other year that I've played football. So that's how I'm looking at this year.
Got a chance to talk to Gareon Conley much? Jack Del Rio sort of compared him to you in terms of, obviously, his defense, your offense, but in terms of the way you carry yourself, very serious about football, about getting better. You got a chance to meet him and talk to him much?
I haven't really.
No?
No, I haven't really got a chance to talk to him yet.
The NFL expanded what players who get in the end zone can do to celebrate touchdowns. I don't know if you're a guy who's going to celebrate a bunch anyway. Does that impact things at all for you?
No, it doesn't impact anything.